Hi, I'm Nick and this is the TBT channel. Welcome to today's video. Now, there are very few things as exciting in the airgun world than having somebody say to you, I've got a bag of bits that's an old air rifle. Do you want them? It's just brilliant. The amount of guns I've had that were just a bag of bits when I got them, it's unbelievable. The HW77K, Ultra K, UK, the one in the Stonewood laminate stock, you'll have seen it, it's probably my favourite rifle, the one I've shortened. That was an absolute canal find when I got that, and a real basket case, but I've turned it into an amazing gun. So anyway, this guy, whose name shall remain nameless, he'll know who he is, and this is not his fault, by the way. So I've got this gun. I lent it to a mate 15 years ago, and when I got it back off him, it's just a bag of bits, and it's terrible, and I don't even know if all the bits are in there. Do you want it? See if you can do something with it. So I said, absolutely wonderful. He said, it's a Weihrauch. I thought, oh. And he said, it's a Weihrauch HW77, and I thought, oh. Then he said, it's a Weihrauch HW77 with a very low serial number. At this point, I probably fainted. I don't know. I can't remember. So anyway, he brought it round and gave it to me. I'm going to show it to you today. Let this be a lesson not to lend guns to a mate for 15 years. And then this is what's going to happen to it. So there's a big chunky chunk of it. And then in here, we've got other bits. I'm not going to get it all out because a lot of it's grubby and greasy, and it seems to have, I think is that made of the glow in the dark material, spring guide, that's a glow in the dark one, which is quite exciting, but don't know why you'd do that. Nobody's going to see it. I've still got this cold, but I'm still suffering, but I'm a little soldier. I am a little soldier. I'm struggling on. Oh no, well, that bit. All I've got left in there now is springs and guides, and for some reason wood screws. So this is what I got. Now, the good news is that's the correct back piece for that action, because you can't really just buy one of these. If you lose that, but you can't just buy one and then replace it, I don't think, because I think they're all different. When you do them up, the dovetails won't match, but that one does, so that's nice. And on here we've got whole cartridge, and then it's a 10101 serial number, so it is an early 25mm HW77, and I thought, well, that's nice. And then next to that, disappointingly, it says 177. But hey, you can't have everything, can you? You can't have everything. So I thought, fair enough. And this bit, the cocking arm was attached to it with this pin here, like that. When you go in there without, yeah, a bit of pressure there. So that was on there like that. And it had a magnet between those bits to hold them together. I thought, that's a bit odd. I wonder what's happened. I wonder what people have been doing to this poor thing. Now, I can't remember the last time I took an HW77's foresight off, but is it supposed to have that underbite there? The reason I ask is I think that's been shortened, and the reason I think that is it actually looks like the the crown on that rifle's been done by hamsters chewing it. It could be a Weihrauch factory thing, it really could, but it doesn't look right. But I thought, well, you know, okay, so the only bit we've got of the doodah at the front here is the ball detent that goes there. The entire front sight thing that bolts onto is missing. Oh, I know they're difficult to get, but I've got a feeling Nick Simmons makes them. And I thought, well, that's okay. I can give Nick a ring, see if he can make me one. Do him a deal the next time he has a bunch of our TBT premium springs. I'll do a deal with you. But it got worse, so I'm afraid that call ain't going to happen, Nick. We've got a cocking arm here. Now, the only thing that can happen with these cocking arms is there's a little nub in there that goes into the compression tube. And if you don't do it right, that can break. So It's looking thin, it's not looking damaged, but that is no use for anybody. That is not a spare part. So I was looking at this, I thought, right, okay then. And I looked in here. Behave. Let me just push that bit back through, take that bit out there, then I can show you. Don't want to lose any bits, do I? It won't be complete then. So I went like that and had a look in there. And then I thought, oh my days, what is going on? Let me show you. I am showing you through the medium of dangling it underneath my camera. So you see the breech area where you put the pellet and you think, well, this is a 177, that don't look right. And then you look further and you look further and you look further. Now, can I focus in on that bit? Can you see what monstrosity has happened here? Would anybody care to guess what the bloody hell that is? It's been drilled out. Somebody has drilled out that section of the barrel. I have absolutely no reason why. I thought, what the hell would somebody do that for? What a silly thing to do. It's going to make it really difficult to get your pellets into the lands of the barrel. Oh, that's odd, isn't it? So I carried on inspecting it and looking at the other bits. Now, there's good points. There are good points here. I've got an old record unit. Now, this is, somebody's spent time on this one, I think, because this is particularly, and just take it to the second stage, particularly slick. Very nice, not too light, not too heavy, with a nice crisp action. So there's a record unit there, which I don't need, but one of you lot might do. If anybody needs any spares that's on the table here, just give me a shout. But it's a good little record unit, and I've got that. Now, people have asked. In fact, I've had a guy on the phone this morning. Who was it now? Eric, I think it was asking about reducing the, oh, for fuck's sake, reducing the cocking arm, because he likes my HW77 where I've reduced the cocking arm and bored out the silencer moderator fake thing on the front to make it shorter without shortening the barrel. He said, how easy was it to do the cocking lever? And I said, well, to be fair, the gun was, like I said, a canal finder. It was ruined, so it needed blacking anyway. So taking it out, machining it and putting it back together was okay, because it then needed to all be re-blacked. And that'd be perfect, Eric. It would be perfect for you to have just as one to experiment with. Except somebody's attacked it with a bloody hacksaw there. Look at that. I suppose you could shorten it from that end, but crikey, animals. So we've got a cocking arm, that's fine. And then, of course, the piece of resistance in any early HW7, I wonder if the French have got a word for piece of resistance, is I've got a proper, fuck's sake, Jeezy crazy, I've just seen something here. I've got a proper 25mm set of internals. Oh yes, I have. Complete with a seal, loads of grease, and a bloody nail stuck through the end of it. Can you see that? Can you, are you guessing yet what's been going on here? What some numpty has been doing? Are we there? Are you ready? Fortunately, that is just a piece of metal that's been stuck through the seal. It isn't attached to the piston, so the piston will be usable if you throw away that seal. And if anybody does want this compression tube and piston, please be aware there is a good chance that you may have to sleeve the transfer port, because that looks like it's been drilled out as well. People drill out transfer ports, all right? And I know why they do it, and I know why this person's done everything he's done to this rifle. People want power, and they think they're going to get awesome power from a spring powered air rifle by doing certain things. Expanding the transfer port in a Springer rarely increases power. More often than not, it will reduce power. This is because a Springer works by the piston going forwards and pressure inside of the compression chamber building to a very high pressure before the pellet starts moving. If the pellet starts moving too soon, you don't build up enough pressure and you get a lower powered shot. So that's why you want quite a nice snug fit in there. So you build up the pressure inside of here, poof, and the pellet goes with high pressure air behind it. If you open out a transfer port on a Springer, the air goes through quicker, the pellet starts moving sooner, and you get less pressure behind the pellet in the compression tube, so power drops. It is the total reverse in a PCP. With a PCP, because you send through a pulse of air, so it's through a valve. It's not a building pressure, it's already there at that pressure inside the gun. You're just letting a pulse of it out. So a bigger transfer port increases power. People think I'll do that with my air rifle, spring powered, and it just reduces it. But in this case, I think he's done it so that that pin can fit through that compression hole. Oh my days. So what has happened here? The final clue came when I found a tin of pellets in the bag that it was in. Okay, they're not pellets actually, they're slugs. These are H&N slug hollow points, which would be good if I had a 177 PCP that I wanted to use slugs in. But I thought, well, I'll have a look at them. I got excited at first. I thought they were 2.2, but no, it's 177. And look what I found. Sat right in the top of the tin. In fact, I'll come round and show these to you as well. These are a work of genius. Take a look at these groovers. That is a 177 slug blue tacked onto the front of a Hilti nail gun cartridge. Have you ever seen the like before? Now, obviously, whoever done this is a person with decorum and restraint, because they've only used the yellow ones rather than the red or the blacks. But oh my word. So now we start to see, has it actually got Hilti written on there? Let's have a look. Oh, yes, it has. I thought they were Hilti cartridges, they're 7mm. So that's what we were trying to do. He was trying to create an illegal firearm. Now, creating illegal firearms isn't big and it isn't clever and it isn't anything new. Oh, that is blue tack as well. I thought, oh, it's something like blue tack. It is actually blue tack. I'll be honest with you, I've done something very similar many years ago, decades ago, when I was a youth. But at least I had the decency to use a Relum rifle, and it was a 2.2. Didn't work. So what we have is an abomination. We have a ruined, that one, you see, obviously we've been experimenting with these. This one was with blue tack, this one's been hot glued on there. That's a much more substantial round. Still going to snap it off there because, yeah, look, you can see the hot glue on the tip. Oh, I'm going to dispose of those in a minute. Obviously, I think I'm going to have to cut this up. I don't know if it's been tampered with. Not to any great, you know, I very much doubt this ever went bang. Yeah. Crikey, come on, come out of there. There we go. Very much doubt it ever went bang. Although, having looked at that, these are brazed in, aren't they, at the end? I think that's a brazed part, so it could be taken out. The barrel could be taken out and possibly this section used, if anybody needs one of those sections. And thinking about it, if I cut the barrel off, I could use the barrel for what is legal here but wouldn't be in the UK. You know, the Brocock tack systems. I've got loads of Brocock tacks. They're perfectly legal here. You're allowed to use them. I could make, because I've got some 177 tack heads as well, I could make something out of that. Maybe a little short carbine or so. I don't know, but I could probably use the barrel, but that's got to come out because that bit there is now ruined. If it can be brazed out, that bit's okay, this bit's okay, and that bit's okay. So it's probably destined, most of it, for the bin. If anybody wants it, send me an email. Likewise for, let me just grab me very near gauge. Let's just check what's happened to this poor transfer port. 4.8 mil. It should be on a 25 mil piston. 4 mil, well, 3.9 to 4 mil is optimal. Okay, so if anybody wants a 25 millimeter piston and compression tube, that will want sleeving just with a little bit of brass or something, sleeving to 4 millimeters, so it's just a little shim inside of there, and it will be absolutely fine and dandy because the piston and compression tubes themselves are okay. It's just the dick fuckery going around at the end of it. So there you go. What turned out, well, sorry, what started off as an old HW77 turned into a bag of bits and disappointment. There are a couple of other bits, and one of them is quite interesting, and that's really the reason for this video. Is the very interesting thing, which is what I'm going to save till last. But in here there was a standard stock beach stock. It's been, I believe it's been refinished, looks okay, decent-ish condition. People are always after stocks. If you need stock, give me a shout. But there is a man whose name is held in awe and horror, and he's an artist, and what's the word I'm looking for here? He's at the forefront, or was at the forefront of design for stocks. His name's Don Robinson. Now, Don Robinson did some brilliant work. He did some really good stuff. He's based in Halifax. He was a gun maker, and he could do one-offs for anybody. Left to his own devices, you would get a stock that had battle scenes with squirrels in armour riding polecats and stuff like that. It's just bizarre, really bizarre, or just a thorny, brackeny bush for no apparent reason. But I've got one here. This was in with this lot, and it's probably the nicest thing that's in there. It's got his little stamp there, D. Robinson, Halifax gunmaker. And what this is, if I get it close enough so you can, I don't know if you can see that, but it's been very finely sculpted here. It's lovely and small and dinky, and it's got a cheek piece there, and the hand grip's very small. Now, I'm small hands. That is a lovely fit. That really is a lovely fit. And that would suit a junior shooter, although the actual length of pull is the same as the original. And it looks very similar to the original when you look below the surface. And it's also made of beech. But you know what he did? How he made these? This is interesting. He would get a standard stock, and then he would fertile, rub, and grind bits of it away, as we can see he has done at the forefront there. And he would do it around the pistol grip as well. And then he would get a piece of wood, make a cheek piece and a piece to come over onto the thumb hole, and graft that on. Now, I didn't even realise that was grafted on until somebody on a forum said, oh, it's a standard stock and he's done this to it. And I looked at it, well, blow me down. So he has. But isn't that nice? It's unusual. It's unusual for a Don Robinson stock in that it hasn't got any embellishments on it. Nothing. It's plain, it's sculpted, and it's wonderful, and it's lovely. I've only got one HW77, and that's already got a CS800 stone laminate stock on it, so I don't need it. But if anybody's interested in that, just give me a shout. It's unusual. You know, it's not normal. And certainly none of your mates down the club will have one. And it will, the fact it's got his name on there, if you go to a club, it will start a conversation every time. For some of his stuff is absolutely fantastic, and I really do honestly believe that is fantastic, but some of it, oh my God. People have different tastes, that's all I'm going to say. So, usable stuff that I managed to get out of this bag of bits is a normal stock, a very fancy beach stock that was once an original stock, possibly that, if anybody has any use for it. I won't destroy it until if nobody wants it, it's getting destroyed. Eric, I might give you a shout in a minute to see if you do actually want that. Anybody wants a 25mm set that needs slaving down to 4mm, just give me a shout. I want a record trigger unit. You know, record trigger units, it's just as good as any other. It's older, but that's all. And that's it. That's my bag of disappointment for today. I didn't mean that to sound negative. I'm hoping when I listen back to it, it isn't negative, because there's a lot of positive stuff in here. The negative of it is, don't do this to guns. Don't do that. It's just not necessary. It's, for a start, it's not going to work. Speaking from experience, all you're going to do is ruin a gun. It might go bang, but nothing potentially useful will come out of the other end of it. And all you're really doing is risking 5 years at His Majesty's pleasure. And anybody else in there's pleasure as well. But if that's your thing, then fine. Thank you so much for watching this one. Like, subscribe, hit notifications, blah, 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 all the usual. Hopefully next week will be sunnier and I'm going to do some shooting videos. See you then. Goodbye.